The first thing I want to ask you is, why military fat loss strategies? How did you come up with this type of program, and what makes the military's program so effective for people who are trying to lose weight or get into shape?
Yeah, this is why I had to look no further than the training that I received in the military, because in working with the clients that I had, it was very, very similar to working with the soldiers that I had assigned to me in the military. And if I could nail it down to kind of one fundamental concept that the military looks at when it comes to fitness, it's this. I mean, you got to look at the whole reason why they even have a fitness program. And the reason is that in the military they understand that a fat soldier is a dead soldier, just plain and simple. And if you're on the combat field and you have to run from point A to point B and there are bullets flying all over, then number one, you're already carrying your weapon, your extra ammunition, which is about 15 to 20 pounds right there. You normally have a radio. Nowadays, they're much smaller than when I was in which makes me feel even older. They're much smaller than what they were when I was in, but it's still, you have your extra batteries for your radio, you have your radios, you have your GPS units for global positioning, you have all of your gear that's on, you have canteens filled with water, even the helmet weighs a lot of extra weight. You have even your combat boots. It's not like you're out there in your Nikes. You're out there in combat boots. So even the gear that you wear, the flak vest itself, the bulletproof vest, is extremely heavy. So if you're packing on an extra 15, 20, 30 pounds of fat, you're going to slow down considerably. And if you're a slower moving target, you're a much better target for the enemy to take you out with a bullet. And Scott, I know this might be a little bit harsh for people, but I want people to understand just the dynamics that needed to go into creating a fat loss program that was not built upon trends, trendy type fad type Hollywood diets and stuff. The military could not fool around with putting together a program that was going to work 100% of the time. And it all boils down to that one thing, that you've got to make sure that you keep the soldiers alive, because they're going to back up your other soldiers. If somebody goes down, you have one less person to fight the enemy, which means you're at more of a risk to be able to win that battle. But when they were challenged with coming up with a fitness program that would fit for all these people, they had to look at some different things. They had to be able to keep all of the soldiers lean and healthy and strong. And it didn't matter. I mean, the military is made up of people of all ages, men and women, all body types, all the way from the scrawny little, skinny pipsqueak, all the way up to the person that has a really hard time keeping off the weight. And it had to work regardless of what their current body fat was or what their fitness level was when they came in. Also, there are times where even soldiers get off of their PT program, their physical training program. And it could be because of injury. They might twist their ankle and all of a sudden they can't run or they can't exercise. And so after 3 months of healing or whatever it may be, they're still drinking beer and eating pizza until they've gained a lot of weight. So all of these things have come up, and the military could not assign a personal trainer to each soldier. So they spent billions of dollars researching exactly what type of an exercise and nutrition program works best for keeping their soldiers lean and strong and healthy. Now, I told you already that I spent 10 years in active duty service, and most of that time I was a master fitness trainer and a weight control specialist for the units that I was assigned to. So, as I said before, I was assigned those soldiers that got out of shape. So the program that I put in place is based upon that core program plus some advanced principles that I learned when I was in the military. And with the soldiers that were assigned to me, I had 100% success rate in helping every single soldier take off the fat that they needed to get back to standards. No matter where they were starting from, men and women, it didn't matter. I got everyone back down using the same principles that I put out in the Combat the Fat program. In fact, they're not even all of the advanced principles that I put out in the CTF program. So this is where the real basis for the program came from and why the military had to put together such an effective program.
And those are great results, Jeff. And I'm sure some people may be wondering, some people listening, if the program that you're going to be talking about is really okay for non-military people. Some people may be even intimidated by the word military. So aren't the needs of soldiers that you train different from those of civilians or people listening to the call here?
Yeah, that's usually one of the top questions that I get, because I realize that, I mean, even if you go to the website, it has kind of a, a military type feel to it, and I mean that is the core of the program. But here's some things that I think a lot of people don't really understand, because there's this whole perception of the military. When you think about like a soldier, you see these guys, they're rugged, they're hard charging, they seem like a bunch of young guys. They can probably do like 1 million sit-ups and 1 million push-ups. And that's really pretty far off the mark. The first thing that people need to understand when it comes to like the military's fitness program is that soldiers are once civilians, just like I'm going to assume everybody listening to this call. I'm assuming there's nobody that's in the military. But those of you that have been in the military, because I get a lot of veterans that are really excited about the program, they'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. When you get into the military assumes that you're way out of shape. I mean, they assume you've never done a single push-up, a single pull-up, none of that stuff. So they take you from square one, and they've developed a program to be able to accommodate every single fitness level. They expect that people are going to be coming in out of shape and overweight. So they have specific programs in place that allow you to do that. The other thing I'll say is that even for those soldiers that are not just coming in, they've been in the military, they've been a soldier for a while. Life for a soldier that is not out in the field, where you're out, in the woods, I said camping. We're out in the woods training and doing these different missions. When you're back in the barracks and you're back in garrison, the life is not much different than most civilians out there. They face the same exact challenges that everybody else does. They, can eat the same food. They can go to McDonald's 3 times a day if they wanted to. They can order pizza. I mean, if you go into the barracks on a weekend, or even pretty much every single night of the week, where the soldiers live, it's like a nonstop frat party. It's insane. It's just, there's beer. It's crazy. Soldiers, look, we train really, really hard. When we're out in the woods, believe me, I mean, there's nobody doing the kind of stuff that we're doing, not even playing the stuff that we're doing. But when we're back in the garrison, we like to play hard too. So these are some of the same exact challenges everybody else has as far as making the right choices with food and everything. And the point here is that anyone can fall behind. I mean, even me. I mean, at 38 years old, here I was, now I was gaining body fat, and I had to find a way to take that off. So, and I'm expected to be lean just because I'm a fitness consultant. So the point is that absolutely anybody. I mean, even the soldiers back in garrison, their days mostly, when they're not out in the woods training, most of the days are made up of sitting in class. So you're sitting on your butt, either in front of a computer or listening to somebody teach you a class. You're not really that active during the day, other than your regular exercise that you do in the morning. So the life is not very different from, in fact, even construction workers have probably even more of an active lifestyle than the regular soldier does. But people that have desk jobs or working cubicles or wherever they may work probably have very, very similar lifestyles to soldiers, other than the basic job description of being able to go out there and shoot rifles and stuff.